Our guest today is amateur filmmaker and YouTuber Craig Golightly. So tell me, what's your movie about?
The Cinema Snob movie.
Is it gonna suck, Craig?
What if our movie sucks?
We drink.
What if it doesn't suck?
We drink more to celebrate.
Here's the Cinema Snob movie.
There will be no peace until that man, the Cinema Snob, reviews our very own E.T. porno parody.
Our careers are ruined, Neil. How could you have possibly thought that that would go over well?
Why even go into outer space?
Because it's an internet movie. They all go into outer space.
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, back to talk about kind of a special movie, something I've been waiting to watch. I didn't get to see it on my birthday when it actually came out. I was seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and so really, can you blame me? I love Brad Jones, and I love everybody at Channel Awesome, and Stone Gremlin Productions, but it's Quentin Tarantino, so I kind of prioritized. And they finally made this available to rent, and so here we are talking about it. I finally got to see another Cinema Snob movie. And look, I'm going to be fair, okay? Because here's the thing. I kind of feel mortified watching the Comic-Con scene in this movie. So full spoilers, you haven't seen this movie. But the people that they have at the Comic-Con in this, I was just like, oh my God, that's practically me. At C2E2, I tried to introduce myself to Brad because I felt like the guy in the thing. He's like, oh, you're my hero, or whatever. And he's like, nah, I mean, I said that his videos helped me out through like a kind of a hard time and blah blah blah. But anyway, it was my first con, and I was so fucking freaked out by everything, and for some reason, talking to Brad was harder than like talking to Nolan North, talking to Clark Gregg, talking to Mig Na, talking to Martin Starr. I was talking to like big, famous people. And I just shit the bed, like really bad when I tried to talk to Brad. And I see the Comic-Con scene in this and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I'm going to try to like see them at this Wizard World. I'll be hard to miss. I'll be the guy in the Captain America Avengers Endgame costume, dragging my nephew along. And so I had to throw that in there because it's the first thing. It's the thing I'm carrying with me as I was watching this movie. But first things first, like I saying that I love these guys, I want to make sure that I do give a balanced review, because let's face it, okay, this isn't Citizen Kane. Like the Snob talks about Citizen Kane in this. This isn't Citizen Kane. It's not supposed to be. But I'll tell you this, it's like 900,000, that's a weird number, times better than like most of the YouTube stuff that gets put out there when YouTubers make movies. There's like Rooster Teeth, man, their movies are, this is like this, that's like, I'm not even going to get into Rooster Teeth, but this is made by a bunch of people that love movies. And Brad, with his background in exploitation stuff and, weird porn, has done something, like different and original and talking about things that annoy a lot of people with the running gag of like the cliches and things like that. There's a lot of different things going on in here, and while not everything landed for me, so much of it did because it's being honest. And even if it's being really silly at it, it's being honest and kind of showing a little light on some of the things that maybe we shouldn't take so seriously and things that maybe we should take a little more seriously. But this movie, first off, looks great. It looks fantastic. I mean, look, I know that this was filmed, I live in Illinois. So many places look like this. It wasn't like the worst winter in the world. It was just shitty out all the time. And so like seeing this stuff though, like where it could just be bland. It reminded, no, it's not Fargo, But I like shots like that of like the winter time in Illinois kind of stuff. But just everything looked like 1,000 times better than like the original Cinema Snob movie. And not to say that, but I mean, you know, this is crowdfunded. This is, you know, I threw in my $25, and for what we got, I mean, it looks fantastic. It really, really does. And they did so much with what you could. You could tell that they used every single cent in this movie, and they came out making what is to me considered a really good-looking movie. I mean, for a YouTube movie, crowdsourced, with just YouTubers of varying degrees of, you know, popularity, they pulled it off. And I got to give it up to Ryan. I never, you know, like I know they say his name on here all the time. And he's on the videos a lot, Brad's. But Ryan, I was gonna say Ryan Mitchelle. Don't want to mess up your name, man, just in case he watches. Ryan, you did a really good job. I can't say your last name with any certainty, but you know who you are. But in this movie, first off, the credits that come like later, I love that. It's a nice callback, you know, to how long it takes to get to credits, and by the time you get to the credits, if they show the title, you're so distracted by it, it takes you out of the movie, and then they do exactly that. Good job. I like that. But in this beginning, we see Brad as Craig Golightly on a podcast. Well, it's a radio talk show. I thought it was going to be a podcast because everything is a podcast, but it's an actual radio show with Rich Laughlin, played by Fard Muhammad, who's really, really funny in this. Just kind of going after him about about how it would be hypocritical of if he makes a shitty movie and he shits on other movies. But he tried to tell him, like, look, man, it's not really me. It's just it's just a character that I do. And we've already, like, just in this first part of this movie, we've kind of jumped away from the first Cinema Snob movie, and how kind of this movie is not an answer to that, but it's a progression. And I really like that it's not just another Cinema Snob movie. The character is going in a different direction. The character is trying to grow. The character is trying to evolve. And we're thrown in these silly situations with really silly characters, but it's miles and miles to me different than that movie. And that's what you want to see from someone. Whether this is, you know, the best movie ever, you can see that somebody knows what they're doing and what they want to do, and I got to give it up to them on that. Because he wants to be a serious writer, and he feels like he's been stymied by the Cinema Snob, and how he doesn't want to be the Cinema Snob forever, just have to always do that. And next, I have like so many notes, so I got to try to keep them straight, but Malcolm Ray has one scene in here as like the Uber driver. He's really funny, just kind of playing off of what Rob and Brad are saying. And I might as well talk about it. And sorry if this is kind of scattered, but it's 11 o'clock at night, and I wanted to get this done before tomorrow because I got a lot going on tomorrow. But Malcolm is really great here. Rob is his usual snarky self, which I love. And all of the videos that he does on Channel Awesome, it's a nice carryover here. Plus they give him, a few more things to do, like giving him this director's backstory of being like a real like dictator and torturer, and how his reputation has been ruined. You've got Brad, of course, as Craig Golightly, who's, again, he's doing something different with the character instead of just being the Cinema Snob. The other person I'm not really as familiar with is, dang it, I have it all right. Trust me, I have so many damn notes here. Kory Goodwin, I'm not as familiar with him at all. I shouldn't even say that familiar. I'm not familiar with him, but he's really, really natural in this and funny. But the breakout is Tamara. Tamara Chambers, man. Oh my God, Tamara. The writing is good for her too. They gave her some really great lines. But Tamara is a fucking natural. I've never seen her in a full-length movie before, but she's got it. She definitely needs to, if anybody in this could make a jump like immediately to something more mainstream, like actual, like a show somewhere, it would be Tamara. She just nails like every single scene she's in, no matter what it is, whether she's covered in blood or in clown makeup. She kills it in this. And I mean, I can't say enough good things about Tamara. I've liked her ever since she started on Channel Awesome, and I really love Tamara's Never Seen. And I've seen her be silly on the show, but I've never seen her just give a full performance, and this is just really good. But they go, in this movie, they're building up to the Cinema Snob movie premiere. They get there, and it's the usual hoopla. I like that he, you know, how he describes it, how he has to just roll it. And it doesn't go over well. And it's just, you know, if you make a shit movie, will you stop reviewing movies, is what one person says. And that was totally out of context, Rob. Oh yeah, people are saying, like, if you make a shitty movie, will you stop reviewing movies? And it's kind of like, well, isn't that what he already does? I mean, not all the time. I haven't seen him, but I love Jesus Bro was great. But another cool thing is that this is a movie that has a movie within it based on a previous movie. I think that's another original thing. The visual effects spaceship was pretty cool. The Cinema Snob for life, motherfucker. The movie was really great. You have to have the cheesy action line. The whole, if you use a real cattle prod, it's a big sag no. I like that. All internet movies go to outer space. They do. They really, really do. And I don't know if that was a dig at Rooster Teeth, but again, yeah, everybody. Why does everybody gotta go to space? I don't know. His dad's, we find out he's big into talking dog shows and game shows where, you know, they hire real grabby hosts. The ghost of Richard Dawson just, you know, rolled over in his grave. The stuff at the Comic-Con, we get to that. It's, you know, I'm the Honest Trailers guy. It was really good. But that's where I was like going, oh my god, I was so mortified at like watching the Comic-Con stuff and feeling like, oh my god, what did I do? I was like, when did this get filmed? Because oh god, I hope to god I wasn't the inspiration for that guy. But Tamara's entrance into this is just fucking hilarious. She's kind of like the Unikitty of this. And she even has like a unicorn shirt on. She's like all so positive. The Shelly Songs thing. Brycicle is played by Kory Goodwin. He's a Twitch player. That Twitch scene was fucking brilliant. All about talking about, like, they didn't want to like single out anybody that might actually be mad. I mean, I guess Circus Freeze could be mad, but they don't have any rights, so who cares? I love it. And how he's like basically the most important one of all of them, and but he can't give them any money because it's tied up in Bitcoin. And Craig's response is rightful, and that makes no sense. No. Shelley saying, I didn't know that that there were that many ways to say the C word when she went into like a Star Wars The Last Jedi thing. Yeah, that shit's toxic still. Look, you should see if you watch my review on The Last Jedi, the only reason I leave it up is to remind myself that how bad that movie really is. But I'm not going to like rip people apart and call them, you know, cunts because they like it. You like it, you like it. I happen to think it's not good. Let's just say that. When she's dreaming about pony dinosaurs and that her mother was the amazing armless woman. So they decide that they need to fix Craig's relationship with his father because he's rich and he's made all these shows about talking dogs, and we get our Tequila and Bonetti reference because we need one of those, right? I do like that the callbacks that are in this to all sorts of stuff that you'd see on a Cinema Snob, like when we have the cannibals later. You know, like I mean, come on, if you haven't watched like cannibal reviews by Brad, you've not lived. At least not lived with exploitation reviews. We get the "Are we dead?" when they're in the diner. And the guy behind him says this just kind of creepy thing, and Craig's just like, "Are we dead?" Great delivery. We also get our introduction to Virginia, who is Laura, Brad's real-life wife. She's really funny in this, getting to play the farmer's daughter cliche. The snob's intelligence question is funny, you know, like that's probably the, like Patterson or something is like the longest word she's ever had to know. And the guy that was in this, he was in John Means, right? That's John Means. He was in a few movies that I recognize. I think he's from like the 80s, right? But he's in this. I was like, I couldn't quite put where he was. So I had to kind of look him up, and then I saw, oh yeah, a couple of these movies, like the one with Billy D. Williams and stuff, is like bringing it back. So like Brad's like really hitting some of these exploitation marks really good. When he wants to know if they're there to sleep with his daughter, and they're just like, she's just like, no, we just broke in, because that's better than telling you that one of us is upstairs having sex with your daughter, and she's not wrong. but he actually recognizes her. And he takes her out back to the barn to give her a tour, where he proceeds to tell her to kill a cow. This is a hilarious scene. Again, Tamara kills this scene where she's forced to kill a pig, and she just enters the rest of a good section of this part of the movie just covered in blood. And she tries to be herself. And I mean, she's the most positive character in the movie, and throughout the movie it is whittled away a little piece by piece from her. Like in this scene where she tries to sing, and she's like, I got nothing, I can't, I smell like death. It's great. And as soon as the guy's like praying to President Trump, and Craig's just like, oh God. Like, and then I love that it's not over the top, like, oh my God, oh, the Trumpers. It's just a very subtle, oh God. Like, oh God, like, how do we get out of here? Like, right now? What's the quickest way we can get out of here without being noticed? Well, I actually kind of thought that they were setting up Tamara's character, Shelley, to end up with Craig, because in this scene, you know, they're having this nice moment outside. Even though she's covered in blood. And he's just outside, I guess, because he didn't want to hear any more about Trump. I like her line, I like the smell, I smell like the dark alternate end to Charlotte's Web. And this is where we find out that these people are cannibals. Some girl walks out of the dark, and I just kind of was like, that's a little out of nowhere, because they killed the pig, right? And you were supposed to assume that they were eating the pig. And then some girl just walks out of the dark without warning and has her, you know, her guts fall out. And I don't know. It was a little bit strange and kind of out of left field. I would have thought that we'd have maybe a scene to like suggest quicker that they were cannibals. But whatever. Like I said, it's not Citizen Kane, but it's still a lot of fun. And I have to like try to. I can't review it like it's Citizen Kane. I'm reviewing it like it's a passion project from somebody that, you know, is really trying. And I mean, I haven't done anything. I mean, I'm trying to make my videos better as each one goes, and I'm starting to try to tell like kind of a story in some of them. But, you know, it's YouTube. What are you going to do? And it's YouTube money. And so sometimes certain things maybe don't make as much sense. I don't know. But Rob kills John Means, and that was pretty cool. I did not expect that. That came out of nowhere. He just pulls the gun out. And you know what? That's the thing. That's the scene in the movie that I always go, why doesn't somebody just pull out a gun and shoot that guy in the head? And then boom. Rob just pulls out a gun out of nowhere and shoots him in the head. And why? Because I would actually believe that his character Neil would have a gun. Because he's just sitting there drinking the whole time. Why not? He'd be packing a gun. And so they run off. Where the fuck is my second unicorn top? Great. They go back to the diner, and they throw an anti-California line, because that's what hillbillies hate, I guess. The Rose's Hitler line was pretty funny because all the people that say shit like that. I mean, look, the Rose character is... I don't blame the actress. I blame Ryan Johnson. Doug showing up as Bolly Joe. And again, subtle. Like, it's not over the top. You know, Doug can be theatrical, is a good word. And that's part of his charm. That's part of his charm. And it's nice that as playing a bizarre character like Bolly Joe, he takes it down a notch. Which, how do you do that? We deep fry them after we cook them, and the whole thing about their souls, and they should smell them while they, you know, like, oh my God. Put a fucking ball in your mouth. So they end up going to this clown museum that this guy also runs, and they find out that it's not really a museum. There are real people that have been turned into clowns by Bolly Joe. Is now like kind of a crazy circus ring guy. I guess that's it. Or is it a different guy? I don't know. But I think Bolly Joe is also this weird circus cult, cannibal cult. It's not quite revealed to me why this is all going on, or at least, I don't know. It just seemed like the town are all cannibals, right? They killed John Means' character, who was killing people to make meat for the town, and also for the clowns, because why? I don't know. I guess I must have missed something there, but whatever. Brycicle and Neil's live stream, basically it's like who's worse here, the guy who waterboards his actors, or the circus freakator. It's the guy who waterboards people. It's the guy who waterboards people. Ryan, the director, as Yuck Yuck, was very disturbing, and very well done, Ryan. You can direct and act like, I guess he'd be this movie's Gimp. So hey, man, you can like rip off Pulp Fiction with clowns. That's pretty. It's not. It's not. Shelley gets turned into a clown, and this town is totally fucked, is what I write down. Shelley becomes a clown, and I got really upset for a minute because I was like, do not let her be a clown for the rest of this movie. Do not. Thankfully, the movie gods smiled on me. The cop's line, that's the sound of something that's gonna fuck us. Oh man. So the clowns end up getting, like, Rob pours, or Neil, played by Rob, pours alcohol on the thing, and of course magically the hacking, we don't have to hack anymore when we just dump the booze on it. The clowns, it turns off their thing, which makes them not clowns anymore. Fine. The race guy returns and kills Virginia. So throughout this movie, there's a guy that keeps telling Kory Goodwin that they're racing, and they have this like bet going on, and it's just kind of always, it's just a running gag. I'm not sure who that actor is. He's pretty funny though, and it keeps getting funnier. And I was like, oh, when Kory says that guy doesn't get distracted and he's going to lose this race, I was like, foreshadowing. Also, we get a Tequila Benetti actual tequila. I don't know if they've used that in other things, but that was the first time that I ever noticed a Tequila Benetti actual tequila. Then it says, oh yeah, you're going to make a great, like Rob's sitting there trying to like tell Craig he's going to do a good job. I'm having a hard time differentiating their names from their characters, if you couldn't tell. But I like that he's trying to tell him, like, you're going to do great. You're going to make a great movie. This is just one bump, and I can't do this. I can't do this. And, okay, was that Dave as a clown? The one who picks up Kory? Bicycle? That was Dave, right? Dave! All right, man. If that was you, that was awesome. Just that look. That look. That's what it was, too. It wasn't anything else. It was just that look in the eyes. And I was like, I think that's Dave. Saying his name like we're friends or something. And Tamara's right. No stops. And again, another really fun thing, because it's like the in other scenes where they say, there's no way in hell that you were ever going to get me to go to that thing or that place or whatever. And then the next scene they're there. And this, it's like, we're not stopping for anything at all. We're going to go through the gas, we're going to just get the gas and drive. We're going to steal it because we're not coming back here. But shouldn't we talk to the cops? Let's find one good cop. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Boom. Cut to, they're in internet jail. Or at least that's what they say they're in. I thought they were in a nut house. And she's just like, could have kept driving. So they're in, and Bicycle ends up here too, because we got to get all the characters back together again. I think we just needed a Dave cameo. But this is where Jim from Channel Awesome Jim, that does like all their props and stuff, he shows up as like the lawyer for Craig's dad. And this is, then we get another cool cameo here that I knew was in this. I just didn't know when he was going to show up. And I wasn't 100% sure who he was going to play, because I'd stay away from a lot of trailers. So I didn't actually see another Cinema Snob trailer until I watched it right before this movie. So I knew Lloyd Kaufman was in it. The great Lloyd Kaufman, who, if you don't know Trauma movies like Tromeo and Juliet, oh my God, the guy is amazing. And like Toxic Avenger, and I'm trying to remember the one that I really, really, oh my God, like, there's like, the one, I'm not going to get into Trauma stuff. I love Trauma stuff. But he's in here playing Lloyd, which is funny. Well, I mean, they got Lloyd Kaufman, and there's Lloyd the cat. I don't know if that's... Oh, that's why you named him Lloyd. Wow, the last horse finally crosses the finish line. Or maybe you didn't, and I just made a wrong connection. But Lloyd Kaufman is really great in this. He's like, reality shows, we just put a bunch of nobodies in a house, and then we release alligators, and that's it. If that was a real thing, I would be watching way more reality. Well, I would be watching reality TV. I do not watch reality TV. Make a good movie like Suicide Squad, really, really good. But the whole message is like, he's just like, keep working. Like, success, is something that you have to work at. And I take that, like, I took this scene to heart, because it's been a really crazy 2 years of being like making a serious effort at YouTube while working a full-time job. And all the patience that it takes, because once I get motivated to do something, and I've never been more motivated in my life than I am in the last like 6 months, seriously, my whole life. And it's hard to be patient when you're that into it and wanting to do good. And I've finally come to like accept the fact that you need to just put in the work. And I'm not interested in being like some, I don't necessarily have to be some giant YouTuber. All right. I mean, I have a full-time job, and I mean, it just wouldn't be feasible for me. Like, I want to work with as many people as I can and meet new people and make friends and get better at this, so that, later on, who knows what could happen. But just that scene is just so well written, and it hits me really hard, really, because I needed to hear that. I needed to hear those lines from this movie about, I mean, I need to hear it from this movie, but I needed to hear those words in general, just keep going. Just because you fail, just because you don't do well at something all the time, you're doing, like, I don't make movies, but like Brad does, but it puts things into perspective, and sometimes you need a kind of a refresher, and especially from somebody, hearing it in a movie made by somebody that you respect. As I consider, like, look, I may have 904 subscribers, and they may have like hundreds of thousands, but I still consider myself a peer, because we're all in this little community together, and so when you hear that from other people that, they know that they're going through the same things that you are at 900 subs, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's my little tangent, my little way to bring my own personality to my reviews. A bicycle built for Shelley. Yeah, I could see that as a freaking sitcom title. And they get $50,000 from the mystery racer, who just shows up out of nowhere again, and gives them the money to make the next movie that somebody's going to pay for. And that's pretty much the end of the movie, where they make a joke in the car about, they just made one, and it's all really good. And I gotta say, like, after it's all over, the only thing I thought was maybe it was a little too long. Some of the things didn't always completely make sense. I felt like there were some scenes missing. But overall, as far as dialogue, writing, and the acting goes, and the way the movie looked, and the fact that this is way more original than a lot of bullshit out there that, costs millions and millions and millions of dollars to make. If you enjoy, like, watching small YouTubers and other people just try their best at something, this is what you're getting. And I can't recommend this actually higher. If you're into, like, my channel, or like the real Gino that I've been talking with, and we're going to be working together. And all these people that, like, Red Letter Media, who they make their own movies, and they're not great, but it's all about the passion and the love, and not having to take yourself that seriously, and knowing that, as long as you're doing something you love, success and everything is really kind of, if you're just looking to make money, you can figure out a way to make money. If you want to make something that you love, you got to put in the work. And so, all I can say is, another Cinema Snob movie, definitely worth a rental at very least. I plan on buying it. I'm going to wait until I actually go to the con, and then I can get them to sign a copy for me. Because I don't want to be like that guy in the Comic-Con video that just, wait, he did buy something though. Oh shit. Well, he wasn't in a Captain America costume, and he wasn't dragging his nephew along so that he could carry his bags for him. That'll be my difference in this, and hopefully I won't crap my pants basically when I talk to them next time. So anyway, if you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, join the fun. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to be doing a bunch of content with the real Gino Reynolds. We're going to be doing a few videos for his channel, a few videos for my channel. Most of them won't be up until Sunday though. So have a great night, and we'll see you then. Bye.